Welcome back for the second hour of the Long Voyage, and we have just left Frothy and Arishat back at the High Priestess's humble home, and we are now rejoining the others as well as Njeri, heading up towards the palace of the emissary in Tethmam. So, please take it away.
That'll go well. Well, I think Ilva is still just walking because she has that I have official business look in her face.
So having left the presence of the High Priestess, has our ability to speak to Njeri dissipated again?
No. It lingers for a while afterwards.
It was recharged.
Yes, it lingers for a while.
Which is kind of important because we're going to talk with someone who wouldn't understand then.
Yes, of course.
So,
The first thing, yes. Everywhere we go in this journey, we always end up getting involved in the politics of these other peoples. We never quite plan for it.
No.
Goes to show that what we thought about this journey being watched over by the powers or by similar forces is continuing. So I think they are having some fun at our expense sometimes.
Of course they are. They're the powers. Why should they give a crap about an ant?
Mm-hmm.
Her face turns sour.
Good grief! And I like to think I'm blunt about things.
What?
Yeah, nothing.
Well, it's true. It seems like the only one who cares for us is the one who actually watches over us. Our swords. And luckily we got one who actually cares, while others are not that happy and lucky.
Well, they have a similar one here so far.
Yeah, but I was thinking about the old one.
Yes. No, well...
But on the other hand, we can take valuable, things back to Southlands.
Yes.
Stories to tell.
Yes. Stories and wealth and great experiences. But there's still the issues of the issue of the Phalanx.
Well, we'll find them and we'll murder them at some point.
It's not a question of finding them. From what Furley saw in his vision, they're practically waiting for us.
Good. I want to bash in all of their faces.
Yes, they are being very...
fathers.
I mean, it's very considerate of them to, actually let us come to them.
And if they can line up, I might actually bash more than one head in one go.
I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to be more than just the fight between us and the Phalanx, though. They threw in their lot with the Sword of Strife against the Raven Lady. This battle is going, I suspect, might be more than... We'll take that into account.
Well, they did wipe out Hurbor, one of the biggest cities that the Raven Lady has. It is more or less, look at us, we're bastards and we just took down one of your biggest cities. They're basically giving her the finger.
Oh. Let's hope she reaches out and snaps that finger off.
But that is what she's working on.
Anyway, let's focus on this sword and this situation now.
On the upside, if the Sword of Strife turns up to the fight, we will have united Southlands a little more by the end of it.
We shall see. So, and Jerry, I apologise for sort of leaving you out of the conversation. Have you given any thought to what you're actually going to tell them?
I'm just going to... She looks quite nervous, to be honest. I'm just going to explain the situation to him as it is. That, our small village is being wiped from the face of existence by this horrible old priest, and that he demands that the sword comes and faces him. and that we besiege the sword will go and kill this horrible being, because otherwise he would kill the first tree.
Would you prefer if I explain what we saw when we were at the tree?
If the emissary asks, I would be very happy if you would, because I spend all of that time on my back sleeping.
Or on my back sleeping?
Well, yes.
She smirks. But yes, it's okay.
That is why we're here. We're here to provide that's why Ilva and Gylfi are here to provide that evidence. I wasn't anywhere near it at the time, but I can account for the attacks in the village at the very least.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, I felt his magic, but the only reason he didn't get me to sleep, I think, was because I was too angry at him.
I'm not sure if that's good life advice, just when in doubt, get angry at things.
I tend to get angry at sore losers, I'm sorry. I mean, taking the tree that no one owns for his own fucking gains, threatening to kill it, threatening to drain it if he can, just to face off. I mean, if that's not a sore loser, what is it?
That is the nature of a world that is affected as it is by the great contest. If the powers hold nothing that we do sacred, why on earth should any of us hold anything we do sacred? Or anything that we have on this earth sacred?
Because it's the only thing we have.
I know.
The powers turns out to be idiots, then show them that you're not. But apparently he didn't.
So how often have you known men... How often have we known men and women to be able to rise above base nature when everyone takes the time to point out just how good people we are? And we're warriors. We're killers, and
there's a lot of good people out there. Most of them are just sadly not either allowed the Lotus Empire to fight or not raised to fight.
And Jerry actually interjects at that point and says, I'm sorry, but I have to say this. You may be warriors and killers, but you're certainly more than that. You came and helped complete strangers who had little, if anything, to give you in return except their gratitude. Killers and warriors alone don't do that. Heroes do that.
I'm not a hero.
Yes, you are. Whether you like it or not, yes, you are. And I suspect that you are a hero to more than just me and my village.
Absolutely.
I try to live by the word of my sword.
Then your sword is good.
Yeah, she is, even if she keeps claiming that she isn't.
She strives to do what is right and seeks to teach us that. It's just that as a sword, she has to do things that others may find appalling because it's the only way.
That's just called a leader.
Exactly, but even beyond being a leader, she is more trapped on this planet as are all the swords than any of us, because they're the ones who have to make sure that the great contest continues. They're the ones that have to.
And Jerry leans in closer when you say that. She says, the great contest, she says. Is it just me, or did it always seem cruel?
It's been cruel from the get-go. Some are lucky they get swords that are trying to help out the people.
Yeah.
And some are unlucky getting swords who doesn't give a shit.
I mean,
it puts the swords who try to do good in a very big pinch, because the ones who doesn't give a shit doesn't shy away from any means necessary to win.
Exactly.
It leads to an eternal war until there's only one left, and no one will be happy until that happens, if even then.
I don't know why the powers feel the need to use us and swords, wherever they came from, whoever they were before, for some means to try and prove which of them is the best by proxy, which in itself is just foolish. But I don't even know what inspired them to choose this as the means to do so. But it's if this had been done by men, if this had been done by us here down on this world, we would not be venerating them. We would be rioting. We would
hate
condemn
them, would we
say.
not?
Yes.
Huh?
We would hate them, would we not?
Yes.
And yet, people still pray to the powers?
I don't.
No, but many do. I do.
Many do.
I do, because I don't know what else to do.
I'm sure out there is a power who isn't as completely callous, just like there are people who aren't completely callous.
I hope
But
that
it's hard to know because we don't know them personally. They do decide everything that happens down here. So maybe it's not because we love them, but because we know we have to, otherwise we will perish.
she looks very thoughtful at that and doesn't really say anything else.
Well,
Well, that's nice. We've inspired a crisis of faith in a good woman. Well done, guys.
Gilfy just pulls out like a flask from his thing and just takes us with. It's like, well, the only thing we can do, honestly, is just live our lives how we want to this way. Because if they want to smite us down, they will.
Ill-advised, Gilfy. Maybe, man, you should live up to your ideals, not just the way you want
I am.
to. Because if you look at the man at the tree, he's living the way he wants to.
Well, you might not like it, but at least he's free.
Ah, I see. So again,
So as long as you're powerful enough, it doesn't matter if you kill a ton of people.
I didn't say it didn't matter. It doesn't matter to him.
Matter to him.
out of character, why do I get the impression that Gilfy has actually become a nihilist?
Probably is. He and Sparna will have a lot to talk about.
Yes.
Oh, I get you so much. Let's sit at the back of the boat and mope together.
Let's go
Oh,
back
he's
there and
Horrible,
be
let's
emo.
party.
Oh, he's not a mopey nihilist.
No,
He's one of those happy nihilists that is just like, well, if it sounds good, it's going to end anyway. We might as well have fun.
Live, drink, and be merry, because tomorrow you might be dead.
Oh,
Yeah.
good God.
Yeah.
Live life merrily and to the fullest.
Well, that's better. Well, look on the bright side. At least Gilfy thinking like that is a bit better than, say, Liam and his sort of nothing matters, so let's just kill everything.
Oh,
mentality.
hell yes, much better.
And I suppose it's an improvement of the early stages Gilfy.
That too, because the early stages Gilfy was basically he was apologizing for breathing.
It's like if powers are gonna smite me down at some point, it's like, oh well. It's like,
But anyway, you guys
suppose.
get close to the palace,
Yes.
and you get
You run
close.
into any familiar?
You get close to the palace, and on the stairs to the palace, you see none other than the jackal,
Oh, good.
Hello, mister.
Gilfy's like, oh.
who approaches you and smiles warmly as he sees you and says, "I see you're back. Excellent. I take it then that this means that your marital problems are going to be resolved."
Hopefully.
Yeah, she has to stick.
Magnificent. I shall go there forthwith, and I'm sure that we shall never need to see each other again, including your ex-wives.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to grab a drink sometimes, it's just like, fine.
No, Gilfy. She just drags him along. I'm
Well,
sorry. We have a meeting to attend to. Gilfy, you shut up right here. You're no longer drinking with him.
But
Oh, well.
I have this interesting new game I could teach him.
No, thank you.
As long as
We
it
don't
doesn't
need to
involve
keep
gambling.
running around.
Oh,
Yes.
how sad. Very well then.
Gilfy, if you do it again, I'm just leaving you here.
Yes, a shame about those two young women. They seem very lovely, but I'm sure they will find a new husband very soon.
Oh, I'm
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure they will.
The smile on Cindy's
Oh yeah, they
face
probably will
says
have to look far to find a better husband than me.
the smile on Cindy's face as he says that sarcastically to the jackal is just sickly.
I
It's
imagine
like, you know,
the word for it would be waxen.
yes, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, because that kind of, you know, because he's like, yeah, I know, this is all part of the game, so. And with that, he's like, he inclines his head courteously, not respectfully, but courteously to the jackal and joins his fellows.
Yeah, we just walked past him. See ya.
See you. And then you are on the stairs leading up to the palace itself. And when you get to the great doors, obviously, there's a there are some very large and burly guards with some pretty big looking weapons who kind of go like, nah, you're not getting in here. This is, you know, the emissary lives here, blah 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 blah, you know, that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, Ilva tries to explain that, well, we have a message for him.
Right. Are you emissaries of your sword?
No.
We are here escorting this young lady from the village of Samek Bet. There have been attacks there, and we have discovered the source. The source of these attacks has identified himself as a concern to the sword.
Wait here. One of them goes inside. And wait you do, for quite a while actually,
Mm-hmm.
before he comes back and says, one of you and the young woman.
Alright. Want me to go in or you want to go in?
I can't go in. I wasn't there. It has to be either you or Gilfy.
Please not Gilfy.
Then not guilty. He'll just end up getting married again. Yeti.
Well, if I got married to the... okay, I'll not continue this.
Sindri, can you tie him to something? Put a harness on him, put him in one of the cages like the greybags, something.
No.
No, I'll just watch him out here and keep him occupied. You two go in and best of luck.
I love the mopey sound there. No!
I don't wanna be gay. Let me go get married if that's what I want to do.
I mean, we could have tried bringing those young women with us, but I imagine they wouldn't have fared well at sea in a very small boat.
I mean, you're just jealous, all of you.
No, I'm really not.
Well, Ilva puts a comforting hand on Yeri's shoulder and walks in.
So, Cindy, how long has it been?
How long has it been since what?
You know what?
Oh, no.
Oh god.
That is a question that I do not deem worthy of an answer. Certainly not to you.
And I'm like literally your best friend.
Yes, that should tell you something.
Burn!
Oi. Oi.
Or that you are really bad at making friends?
I mean, yes, but I don't find that a particularly troublesome fact.
I don't know.
Why, are you suggesting that you're going to try and solve this problem for me from the goodness of your heart?
I probably could, but you know.
No, I should much like to prefer to wait until I get home to the Southlands, assuming I survive all of this, and use my hard-won riches to find and love a good woman, and make her my wife, and start a family somewhere in Vananes or something.
Interesting.
What can I say? I'm a bit old-fashioned.
What a traditionalist, eh?
You're a bit boring, that's what you are.
I've had my fair share of excitement with this voyage.
Yeah.
Now I just want something a bit more quiet.
Come on, it's just the beginning. We just get on next boat and and continue. Come on.
I mean, maybe an opportunity to sail again, to voyage again, will crop up once after we've finished our affairs at home. But well, we shall see what comes of that.
Oh, come on. Don't tell me you wouldn't love to see Lan One again.
I would rather, actually.
Or even CharismaToAC or any of those places. Or even here. Yeah.
Maybe, but I can't help but feel like a journey as impressive and as memorable as this is only ever going to happen once. I have resigned myself to the very real possibility that I will never see any of the places I have been to again. That is the nature of a voyage as fated as ours has been. And even if we were to do it all again, it will never be quite the same.
Have you ever wondered how the people that we met are faring right now?
All the time. But that way leads only to me feeling sad for the people that I know must be, if not dead, then certainly worse off than last we left them.
But what about the people you've met whose lives you've made better? And Jerry
So the-
says, what about them?
Uh,
Like
yes.
ours?
Yes, that's true. I must apologise. I've been an unbearable pessimist while I've been with you. I must think more on the people we've helped. People in the Green Shores, in CharismaToAC certainly, and in the Lotus Empire and Lan One. They were grateful for our time there, and Li Ling certainly. She found a life that was actually to her. She had a future, one that she could look forward to, way before she felt that she was going to be trapped in a life she couldn't stand. But it all worked out.
I kind of hope. I keep wondering what happened to the seamstress lady in CharismaToAC that we helped. I wonder if she and her children managed to.
I don't know. Anyway, enough reminiscing. You two need to get inside. Well, that's a good point. Are they still waiting, or
Yeah,
they go
they're
in?
still waiting.
Okay. My apologies. I thought they had been said they could go in, but yes, we have done good. We have helped people,
I mean, and Jerry just spoke up after all, so yeah.
and of course, we got the pleasure of seeing something that no one else alive, well, very few else alive have ever seen, and certainly no one else has returned to tell the tale of.
What was that?
We saw the planes of the Convocation.
I've only heard tales told to little children of it.
Yes.
I didn't even know if I should really believe it was real.
It's real, but there's
It's
a
not
reason.
as glamorous as you may think.
I mean,
I always thought it was frightening.
it is.
It's awful.
I mean, all those dead swords left behind.
Not just the swords. Their retainers and sometimes unlucky souls who also found it and didn't have the common sense to leave while they could.
I think
We were very
Lucy
lucky.
is the one who brought them there.
I'm,
And I don't think it's as frightening as it's sad.
Hmm.
and you think you're not heroes. My goodness. Anyway, we should probably go in.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's go.
Okay.
Best of luck, you two.
So,
We'll be fine.
yes.
Hey, if I get married, you can beat me up.
Yep.
She
If you get married, the Raven Lady herself will appear from nowhere to kill you.
Yep.
So, while you two head inside, We shall momentarily pop back to Frothy.
Dun dun
Dun,
dun.
dun, dun, dun.
Who's
Bam,
going?
bam, bam!
And you are basically just about to leave, or you've just left the house, or the small hovel, or what you want to call it, the hut, when the jackal arrives.
Of course he does.
He gives you a wide smile and says, "Ah, I've just met your companions up by the palace. They informed me that you had completed your task, so officially your good friend is now a divorcee."
Oh, very good for him.
Yes, he looked heartbroken, for all about. Not at all, actually.
Yes, he's something.
He's a nice young man, he says, and sounds a bit more serious for a moment. He's careless, but he's a nice young man.
He's useful, but I think this journey has gone and gotten his head way too big for his shoulders.
That's possible. That happens to young men all the time. Hasn't happened to you, I guess?
I suppose not. Although, I have been overexerting myself, so perhaps it did.
Is there anything I can do to help? I know many a remedy. I know many a person.
No, thank you. I'm
No,
quite
no
capable.
no strings attached, I promise. I've already gotten the work out of you and yours that was necessary, I promise.
I think the best I could have hoped for was that you had taught him a lesson. Although, I'm afraid the only lesson he learned was that he can always go to his friends to get them to solve his problems.
That is not a bad lesson to learn, that you have friends who are willing to stand by you in thick or thin, is it?
No, but it should not be an excuse to get into trouble.
That is true.
And I'm afraid that is the lesson he's learned.
I see. Well, I hope you will be able to instruct him otherwise.
I don't see how, unless I want to punch his teeth in, which, believe me, I have considered.
That would be a crying shame. There are many lovely, lovely ladies out there who would probably lament his broken teeth for all eternity, and they would haunt your dreams forevermore.
Oh, don't make it even more tempting.
What? You like having beautiful women haunt your dreams?
Not, Throny gets flustered. I just meant that maybe he'd stop being such a womanizer.
But there's nothing wrong in enjoying women. There's nothing wrong in enjoying men, for that matter. I don't care. Enjoy life. In the end, what else do we have? Who wants to sit there, old and grey and dying, and say, "Oh, I wish I'd done that when I was 20 years old"?
I suppose that is true.
What good will that ever do anyone?
Thrody is clearly speechless. He's just kind of looking at the man, contemplating his words.
Do you have something on your mind? You look very thoughtful.
I have been increasingly annoyed with his careless attitude. But perhaps it's my problem rather than his.
Perhaps it's just different ways of living. You have seen much ugliness, have you not?
I have.
You've seen much ugliness on this long voyage of yours as well, I take it.
Hmm.
Then Everyone would deal with that in different ways, would they not? Some would be sullen, some would seek the company of others, and some would try to live, just live. I did not see a young man who did anything more than be a little bit careless in the pursuit of a good time. Had he met someone less unscrupulous than me, he would simply have had a wonderful night.
I suppose I should thank you for your wise words. So, thank you. You've given me much to think about.
Well, I wish you well, he says, and nods, and then he heads off.
Thordy looks tired. Which I suppose he does most of the time.
Yes, by now
Say-
he's probably pretty much a perennially exhausted guy.
Yes, I think I genuinely think that at this point, Sindri and Frothy, well, Sindri can no longer claim the title of the Grim because Frothy is just simply better at it.
No, there's Sindri the Grim, and then there's Frothy the Mopey.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Just the title I wanted.
Well, then
And
you.
Gilfy the Careless.
Yes.
And Ilva the Hammer. I think she...
No, definitely.
Ilva the Scary?
Yes.
Ilva the Demon of Sunrise.
That's too long, it has to be one word.
Okay, Grumpy.
She's not grumpy, she's usually happy.
Just not in the morning.
Ilva the Clumsy.
Or with
That
Ilva
at
the
least-
Klutz.
Ilva the Klutz or Ilva the Clumsy at least fits.
Mm-hmm.
I think Thordy takes out the ring again to contact the captain.
Yes.
Ding ding!
Ding, ding,
Because
ding,
who
ding.
can be bothered to walk 30 meters?
Oh, yep, you get through.
Captain,
Jolly, hi.
we've returned to the city.
Oh, right.
We have some messages to deliver and some Gilfies to free, and then I think we'll be coming to see you.
All right. I look forward to hearing what you have to tell. We're almost ready to leave, by the way.
I'll inform the others when I find them.
Sure. It's time to go home, Gilfy. Or Frothy. It's time to go home.
That's going to be something, isn't it?
It sure will be.
I'll see you later, Captain.
Indeed, I will see you.
And then he's off to find the others.
Will he know what way they were headed?
Yes.
Indeed. Well, you get into well, go back to Ilva and Jerry. You get into the palace and are taken.
Oh, I want to see Frothy's face when he realizes Ilva is the one in there.
Mm-hmm. You are taken to a large audience chamber where this same man that some of you at least, I can't remember if you were all there, but some of you at the very least saw back when you originally arrived. And he's sitting behind a very, very large desk, basically, or a table. He's got scrolls and various what's it called, clay tablets and scrolls and beeswax tablets and so on lying around with messages written on them in various languages. And he looks up when you enter and says, I am led to understand that you bring important news from Samic Beds.
Ilva tries to be polite and, give him half a bow, half a nod.
Well, he seems to be content with that. And
Yeah, we do.
And Injeri, like she did with the high priestess, immediately goes down on both knees and she bows her head. And she says, Great One, we bring dreadful news from Samikbet. It is my village, and I was sent with this message on behalf of my kin and my friends and all who live there. But we have, well, at this time, Samikbet almost certainly no longer exists, except as a group of people moving together. Because a great evil from the time before our liberation has taken hold of the first tree. And then she looks to you, because that's pretty much where she passed out.
Ilva nods. This is true. They had been under attacks from several groups of beasts. Always too big groups to be, coincidental. And we took it upon ourselves to go see what this was all about, because we needed a branch from the tree anyway. When we got there, magic made Nigeri fall asleep. For some reason, I actually didn't, and my travel mates didn't either. And we saw an old man at the feet of the tree. This man claims to be the high priest of the old sword, and he will not relent the tree until the current sword faces him. Should anyone but the sword show up, he will kill the tree. And we made a deal with him to cease his attacks for one season to give the sword some, time.
How many days ago was this deal struck?
That was 1 day to the village, and then 2-3 days on a boat?
2.5 days on the boat.
So about 3 days ago.
Right. Very well. I have heard your message. And he looks to Injeri and says, will you be able to find your people again if they are now moving? And Injeri nods and says, I will be able to, Great One. I am a good tracker. And the sword, the emissary says, that is good. I will make sure that you are sent, or that provisions and a few armed guards are sent with you to help keep you and your people safe until you end up where you are planning to go. And I will immediately contact the sword to let him know of this travesty. Rest assured that action will in fact be taken, and should you wish to return to your homes at Samikbet, it will absolutely be possible for you to do so when this has been dealt with. And then he kind of, he nods to you, and clearly that's about it. in all its simplicity, that's it.
Rilva looks at Nyeri to see if she's satisfied with that.
She is, and she gets to her feet and looks a little. She looks a little nervous still. But she goes with you, leaves the place again, and comes back out. And for those of you two who are standing outside, they're really not inside for all that long. I mean, it's a big palace, and it takes a little while to get to the room and back again. But you would probably have imagined that it would take them a little bit longer while they were in there. But they come back really quickly.
So as we see them come out, Cindy just looks at them and says, "They kept us waiting. How hundreds and hundreds of breaths for a meeting that took the span of, say, less than 100.
Well, he was straight to the point.
Clearly.
You should be used to by now how the nobility works.
I suppose, but
I actually
even-
don't think it was his doing. She looks at the guards as she walks down.
Hmm.
I mean, he did look like he was bloody overrun with work.
Right.
But at least he took the message seriously. It seems like it.
Yeah.
And
So-
maybe
Okay.
he'll be a little faster once the High Priestess here comes to talk with him.
Well, let's find Frothy, and then we can say our goodbyes since we'll have to make our way back to the ship.
Yep.
Okay, so we start heading back in the direction of the High Priestess's place. I imagine we'll meet
Yep.
Frothy halfway.
Yep, you meet Frothy just about halfway indeed.
Hello.
Ah, there you are.
Everything you need?
Yes, have you finished your meeting?
Yep, it went well.
Well, that was swift.
Yes. The joys of efficient governance, I suppose.
Well, that is good. So, what will you do now? He looks at Jerry.
I will probably take rest of the day and maybe tomorrow to, gather myself, and then I will go in search of my friends and my family and go with them.
Well, you might be able to see us off then. I think we're getting ready to leave soon.
What
We
you
are?
need is go and relax.
I think
So, Jerry, how about we go, all of us, and we grab some drinks? We'll go, it's probably our last night here,
Yeah, why not? If
Yeah.
we have time, yeah, sure.
We should go check with the captain first.
what?
Or, I didn't hear that either.
Oh, he was just like party pooper.
Or you can go, and we might leave you behind. I'm...
Like you would
Lincoln,
survive without me.
Well,
I think that,
I'd at least be happy in death then.
You wish.
I think, There's
Have you
nothing to
learned nothing, Guilty?
Oh, I learned plenty. That's why I asked you that. Why I asked you all to come with me.
Look, Gilfy, I understand that you want to enjoy life, but I would appreciate it if you would think of the consequences it has.
That's why I have Nigeri with me.
Because my urge to punch you in the face has been steadily rising for the last long time.
I mean, that's why I have Nigeri with me. She's a really responsible woman.
That's not why you have Jerry with you.
What are you implying?
You know what I'm implying.
I think I'm not.
I'm going back to the captain.
Alright.
She starts walking.
Be careful around him, Jerry.
Can you stop?
Hey, and Jerry, you want to see the ship we came in?
Actually, I think I would.
I mean,
Okay.
we'll be leaving, and the others didn't have one with them. This might be the only chance you get to see it.
Then I'd definitely like to see it.
Okay.
I mean, after
You-
hearing the stories of your home.
I suggest then that all of you can go on out of the ship, taking Jerry with you, and I will continue to chaperone Gilfy and have a drink. Have a drink.
Oh, if it's such a problem for everybody, for me to go drinking,
No.
sure I will return with you to the ship.
It's
Oh,
no
There's no
problem.
I
problem.
mean, it's clearly a problem.
It will be no problem if we have one drink. As a final farewell to this magnificent city of Tethman, don't you think, Gilfy? A compromise, one drink, and then we can head back.
You know, we could have a drink with the whole crew.
Yeah, we could.
But then we can have two drinks. Then Gilfy can have one here and then one with the crew. So he gets multiple drinks, so that will make him happy. And
And you get what? You seem a little eager.
what can I say? I'm in a fairly good mood.
That never happens.
I mean,
It's been happening more recently than it has been for you, Frovi.
Nah, you
I
must.
mean, clearly
somehow.
clearly the prospect of going on a drink with me is really appealing. So
Let's just say that I'm interested in trying to actually see things from your perspective for a bit before giving up on it.
minor fraudies.
Yours.
Okay.
I mean, if you're sticking so stubbornly to this idea of living life to the full and be damned with the consequences, I've got to try it at least once. If it's that good that
You're just asking because Sindri did shave, didn't he?
Hmm?
Feel the lips that brow at Sindri. Did the heat get to you?
That Sindri actually looks a bit worried. It's a good point. It might have done actually.
Sounds like your brain has
Do
melted.
you want to give me a? Do you want me to give you a once over?
No, I just want a freaking drink.
Well, you guys can go do what you want. I want to hear what the captain has to say about when we're leaving.
We'll be back. We'll be back in. I wish there was a measurement of time that was easier than the span of breaths.
Well, Ulva does have accurate timing.
Okay.
An accurate sense of direction.
Mm-hmm.
I think Gilfi as well has a impeccable timing.
What time of day is it, pray tell?
It's mid-afternoon. And
Well, where will you two go in case the captain says we're leaving today?
There's, I think I saw an inn or tavern near the docks that where we can frequent. It'll be close enough that we will be within quick walking distance of the ship.
Okay.
And you'll know, we'll follow you until we get there, and I can point it out, and then so you'll know which one to look for.
Okay.
Yep.
True.
Then go have fun. We'll find out what the captain has to say.
I
I'll
always
get
do.
married.
Well, I won't.
He'll just have to bring them along because we won't have time to do another errand.
No, I won't get. I learned my lesson. I won't get married this time. I cannot speak for Sindri though.
Good boy. Keep Sindri from getting married too.
Already told him I'm going to wait until I find myself someone back in the Southlands.
Yeah, I thought
Well,
Gilfu was gonna do the
sometimes we don't
same.
have a choice. Love finds the way, you know.
What if I have anything to say about it? Now let me get that bloody drink.
Please don't get married.
To be fair,
Gary,
you are not.
Those two are bickering now.
Once you got rid of that scraggly thing you call the beard, it's like kind of you look very presentable right now.
Did Sindri get shaved? Oh god.
I think he said he gets shaved because of heat.
Yes, last session I did say that Sindri had basically he'd had to actually. The heat was so much that he'd shorn his hair short and let trimmed his beard down. So he's quite different.
and now he's heading back down to the cold. Oh, poor guy.
I mean, he can just take his wool cloak and wrap it around him like a shawl. He's seen some people around here doing that.
Yes.
If you want, I can kind of improve your trim because it's like I'm pretty good with a knife.
It's fine.
Anyways, that's a genuine thing.
The young lady who helped me with this assured me that it looked absolutely fine.
Does it actually look fine?
I mean, I'd like to think it does. I mean, as you say, there might be a few bits where it might have shaved a bit too close or not close enough, but for the most part, it looks pretty neat.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, and after we get a drink, we can get a bath before I.
No, we do not have time for bath.
We always have time for
Know
bath.
that yet?
That might be the last bath before we leave for a long journey.
Then may I suggest that you go to the ship first and beg Captain Ormer for a chance to stay long enough to have a bath.
Like he would leave without us.
Don't push the limits of a desperate man, Gilfie. You've no idea what they're capable of.
I mean, they seem to have having a good time around here as well.
to your point, they have actually been. It's only been a couple of days, but they did say they were trying to find some work. They did. I wonder if they succeeded with doing that mercenary job. We shall see. Anyway, imagine we're talking as we're walking as we're talking, so we're probably getting close now.
Yep, you are. You can see the ship.
Okay, there's the ship, and around this corner, yes, there. That's the inn I'm thinking of. Ilva.
Well, Ilva kind of said she was leaving a little while ago.
Yep, she had
Oh,
it
okay.
off. Yep.
She asked Njeri to come, and then they left.
And Jerry
I
is.
think
okay.
Thordy would have left with them.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't realize. In that case, we just make a beeline straight for that building.
Yes.
I think we should probably swap over to the others so they can actually
Sure.
advance the story while we just
Get
imbibe
suitably-
vast amounts of alcohol.
Get suitably plastered. Yes.
One drink, which will inevitably become 2, and then 4, and then so on. We'll
Right.
see.
You get back to the ship, and of course, Njeri is still with you, and she seems to realize only a moment too late that is in fact your ship, and her jaw just drops to her chest, and she looks at you all, and she says, "You crossed the ocean in that, but it's so low.
Yeah.
The waves."
It's deceptively fast too.
You're even braver than I thought you were.
Well,
Some
it's
would call
made to
that
work.
dumb. She juggles.
I'm impressed. And it's fast, you say?
Very fast.
It looks fast. And then she looks.
We can get in a lot of places where bigger ships can't because they lay very deep in the water. Ours doesn't.
Right. And she looks out to some of the ships in the harbor and back to yours, and she's like, I've never seen a ship that looked anything like that.
Can you see the front of it? She
Yeah.
points at the front.
Yeah.
They usually carve those into our ships.
Wow. But it looks just the same in both ends.
Yes.
Oh, so you can just turn around and row the other way?
Oh, we do have a helm and one end to control what way we go, but we can turn pretty quickly.
Wow. This is I'm really impressed. She says, I really am. I thought, I don't know what I thought really. Wow. Could I be allowed in it, you think? Just briefly. I promise I won't stay long.
I'll ask Ormer. And then she puts her arms up and waves Ormer over.
Yep, he comes over.
Hey!
Hello, it's good to see you again.
Likewise.
Who's this young beautiful woman?
This is Njeri. Njeri from Tipman. The little village we stopped in before we got to the tree.
Oh, right.
And she's asking if she'd be possible for her to see the ship.
Of course. She's welcome.
She
We'll
lifts the lady into the
as long
ship.
as she doesn't stay too long, we're leaving on the evening tide.
Cool. Well, I thought it would be maybe the only time for her to actually see a ship hour like ours.
Probably. Well, he helps her down into the ship if she needs to, and she is, for the first few moments, it's like she's afraid to even move when she gets down into the ship itself, and then she begins, then she realizes that it isn't going to tip over, and she moves along the ship and back again, and she has eyes the size of boulders when she's helped back up to shore. This is clearly the most amazing thing she's seen in a very, very long while, if not ever. And she's like, it almost makes me sad that I can't come with you, but I can't. I have to go and find my people again. But you must have the most wonderful adventures in a ship like that.
Yeah, though the longer we stay in it, the more we get on each other's nerves. There's not a lot of room.
True, but that's why it's good to have places like this where you can then go ashore, isn't it?
Yes.
She takes another long look at the ship, and then she looks to each of you, and then she looks a little sad, and she goes around and gives each of you a hug. And she says,
if she survives Ilva, she can go over to hug the others.
and she says, I must be going, and you are leaving soon.
Who knows? Maybe it's not the last time we're here.
Maybe not. And even if we never see each other again, I won't forget you.
I won't forget you either.
You take care of yourselves. Be safe.
You too, and good luck with your village.
We'll survive. We always do. We find a way.
That's a good attitude.
That's why they need someone like me. I'm good at finding ways.
Well, good luck to you, and much happiness for Mugu going forward.
She,
I hope.
Oh, sorry.
I
please.
hope you get to move back to Sonic.
Oh, we will, I'm sure. We may have to rebuild the place, but when the sword has
Maybe.
when the sword has fixed the problem, we will definitely move back there.
Alright.
Right. Okay.
Safe travels.
You too. And she waves, and then she turns around and she begins to run, because otherwise it's pretty clear from the look on her face that if she doesn't, she's gonna end up bawling.
Aww. Ilva turns around and then smiles at him. Look at this! And then she takes out the skull.
What is that?
It's a floating log. Huge ass creature. It looked like a log in the water, but then it jumped out and started eating people.
Ew?
They were not nice.
No, I
No.
imagine they weren't. Ouch.
It was cool though.
We have much to tell you.
Well, I look forward to hearing it. All of it. He says.
Anyway, Gylfi is no longer married, so it shouldn't be a problem taking him along.
No, I'm sure it won't be. That's a good thing, obviously, that we wouldn't have.
But the question
We wouldn't have had room.
is.
Sorry, please.
Sorry, sir. Continue.
He said the problem, of course, would have been bringing his two wives with us on the rest of the trip, but
Yeah.
the rest of the trip, as it is from here to home. We're heading to Vananes next.
We are?
Yes, we are.
Although seems electric. Seriously?
Yes, we're heading to Vananes.
I've never seen that place.
I think you might find it a little disappointing after all the things we've seen.
I'd never find it disappointing. The Raven Lady lives there.
True. That's a good point. So, right,
Ooh,
where
where's Rana?
where Rana? She's
Yes.
right over there.
Rana!
Rana looks up and comes over and is like, "Oh, hi! You're back.
Yes.
I didn't see you guys. Did everything go as it should? Are you all okay? I can't see. Where's Gylfi and Sindri?
Sindri's brain melted, so now he wants to have fun before we leave.
His brain melted. I hope he's okay.
He used to be grim and sour, but now he actually wants to have fun.
It's weird.
Very weird. But I know where they went, so we can be able to get them pretty quickly.
Okay. Well, we probably should, because the tide is going out very soon. So
Yeah. Before that, though.
Yeah.
Should we go find a place to get a decent bath before we leave?
there won't be any more time. We don't have
Aw.
time for that. We're leaving really soon. I mean, we're carrying the last things onto the ship now, and then we need to get... In fact, you should probably go and get Goofy and Sindri.
They're gone.
Fine.
No, they're not gone. They're right there. This is why This is why Sindri said they would have one drink, on the understanding that, again, compromise. Gilfy gets what he wants, and everyone else gets what they want, and that we're going to be leaving quickly.
Wanna
You
come
need
find
help?
them, Brody?
I was just about to ask if you needed help.
Yeah, I could drag both of them if they're drunk.
Now come along.
I mean, it's the last chance to see some of the city.
We can't get drunk that quickly.
So,
Depends on what you drink.
you go and look for them?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
I mean,
you
we'd
do
have to be
find
having
them.
We'd have to be having a competition. But
Yes.
no, we're, as I say, we just literally sat there at a table near the entrance, one drink each, so... And we've been sat there discussing things. We've been discussing about what makes us happy.
Okay.
And so you probably
Good
come in at the tail end of that. Yeah, so the point is that Gilfy's obviously talking about all these things that makes him happy to be, live life to the full and throw the consequences of the wind, and Sindri is saying that I'm older than you. What makes me happy is more grounded and more...
You're like 2 years older or 3 years older than me. Stop pretending like you're like 30.
I'm an old man, Gilfy. A creaking in my bones. And that's Sindri actually does put on that voice as he hunches over. Kind of,
Yeah, it's all the creaking in your bones is because you sort of got them refused to relax for a second.
Oh, you young scallywag, show some respect. And then
I
he
swear
stops.
to God, you'll be
He can't-
shitting overboard.
Yeah, Sindri's sniggering. He can't stop himself at this point.
I think they walk in at the second he's sitting there snickering like an
Yep.
idiot.
Yep, I was just about to say, I think that's a brilliant point for them to arrive.
Yeah, and then
And then Ilva comments to Frodi, I think I was correct when I told Rana that I think Sentry's brain melted in the heat.
Yeah, I've never seen him doing that before.
Hello,
Hi boys,
hello, yes.
we're leaving by evening tide.
Oh, we need to go. We need to go soon then.
Carrying the last onto the ship now.
I did say, Gilfy, we wouldn't have time for more than the one.
Yeah. Oh, we can always buy a barrel for the ship.
I'm not sure we've even got time. Well,
Well, you probably have, few breaths before we need to leave there. So if you want anything, it has to be now.
How quickly can we get smashed?
no, Gilfy, come on. Sindri actually downs the rest of his drink in pretty much in one go.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want, Frodi?
A good night's sleep.
Yeah, maybe when we end up in Vananes.
Yes.
But other than that,
Oh,
Oh, we are going to Vananas then.
yeah, we're headed directly for Vananes.
Excellent.
Unless anything else interferes and we end up somewhere weird.
Oh, please don't say that.
hopefully.
Weirder things have happened.
Yes, but I don't want them to happen. I've had my fill of seaborne disasters. I
How
want.
shot it you can froze your ass off your entire life?
Are you sure you're not drunk? What did you order?
Same as you.
Well, I don't think you're of a weaker constitution than I am, so you should be fine. Anyway, let's get going. If we see a barrel on the way back, then I'll pick it up for you. But
There's plenty of barrels. Which one contains alcohol is the question.
could you please see this fine young gentleman to the ship, and I will see if I can find him something. He says.
No, I have
tribulative.
something I need at the market.
All right, then
It's
fine.
last chance now, so.
All right, let's very quickly go shopping then.
I'll see the young lad to the ship then.
Thank you.
What the? I can fend for myself. Thank you very much.
Apparently.
I'm afraid you'll run off and try to get drunk.
I kind of think he wants to go back home too.
Oh,
Okay.
I'll
So-
do this.
Hmm?
Nothing.
I'm sure it was. Okay, so some of us go shopping very quickly.
The rest of us drag Gilfy back to the ship.
Oh, he's going on his own. So he's like throwing his hands in the air. It's like, yeah, fine, I'm going.
Suddenly,
Yes.
all the bluster seems to have gone out of him.
Yep, he's realised the teenager that he is. He's finally realised that you can't always get what you want.
Actually, I think I heard what it was he said, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I
it
didn't
might
hear it.
might be a different reason, but that's just me.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he didn't want to go home, but I didn't hear his answer because a cat chose to start, trying to dig its litter box up.
Oh,
Noisy as hell.
Did we take the second break because we're now at 12 minutes past the hour?
no, we didn't, but we can take the second break right around now, and then we'll be back with the final part of this week's The Long Voyage in just a moment.